Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Rarely Typical Player podcast. We have once again come to you guys with another RPG Maker MV game called Past the End. We welcome the developer Stephen Kowalski, also known as SKows or SKows. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. But this game was chosen on the Wheel of Doom, the community pick wheel, where we have to thank DK Studios for chickening out and prompted us to respin the wheel where we land on this game. So, like always, guys, you know, we spend the week with the game, we play the game, we try to analyze the games the best way we can. We can enjoy it, we enjoy it, we don't. And we come every Wednesday at this time to give you the good and the bad about the game. So before we get into it, you guys know who I am. I'm D7, of course, and I would like to introduce my other co-hosts. First, we have the sci-fi fanatic, Synchronic Games.
Hell yeah.
And the map maker, Mischief, resident German, Simple Gaming Harlequin. What was that? Oh man, we about to get into it. We about to get into it though, for real, for real. All jokes aside. Yeah, what this game is about, a quick synopsis of this game. You are a young woman named Sam, a young woman who sets out on an adventure to cure her mother of the mysterious Crimson Decay by gathering the 4 elemental crystals and sealing the gate to the void. All right, guys. So, you know, I like how time fantasy looks. You know, it has that Super Nintendo SNES vibe. So, before we get into the podcast, we're gonna talk about story, of course. What we think about the story, the battle system, the mechanics, the music, any elements that make this game either a good game or a bad game, or if there need to be any improvements in the game. We're gonna let the developer know. So, in all fairness, let's start with Simple Gaming. Yes, this Simple Gaming went last week.
No, I think I have many.
Okay, let's start with Simple Gaming on. Give us a little synopsis on the story and what you understand when you played the game. Like, what did you get out of it?
Not too much as usual. I played for, according to the game, I think a little bit over 2 hours. It seems fairly generic. Like, you got your elemental crystals, and pretty much those are what you gather. I got to the first one, which you pretty much more or less consume. Like, you're getting empowered by it, so I suppose that's how the story goes. You're gathering elemental crystals, empowering yourself, and eventually beating the big bad evil that's gonna pop out at one point. The journey starts out, however, with another classic trope: your mother being sick. Right? So she has an otherwise incurable disease called the, what was it, Crimson
Decay.
Something?
Crimson Decay.
Crimson Decay, exactly. And it's probably like you grab a healer and he's like, nope, can't cure it, gonna need that crystal, so you're gonna go and find that crystal. And that's pretty much where I stopped, because I couldn't beat a boss for some reason. I don't know why. That thing was just two-shotting all of my characters, so I don't know where I went wrong, but that's as far as I got into the story.
Okay.
I was able to get a little further in the story. So the way that you, I mean, with that boss, I did die at first, but there's ways that by talking to certain people you can get items that reduce the wind damage by 50%, and that made it doable. But shortly after that point, you know, you get the crystal, you try to cure your mother, it doesn't work, and there's some kind of angel that's kind of saying like, hey, you need, for your mother to be cured, you have to seal the void with all of the crystals, not just one. So after that, you're supposed to go east or whatever to, like, I guess, try to find the next one, and then the game kind of, there's some stuff that happens after that, after you camp out, but the game after that kind of says you should stop playing here, but if you'd like to continue playing, you can. And then I did try to
get into the unfinished parts of it.
And then I walked into the forest, and the maps were, maybe it was designed like this, but the maps were like the map you came from isn't the map you're going to if you try to go back, and like lost in the forest vibe. And then that's where I stopped. Is at that point.
Yeah.
So not too much further than me.
Not too much further, no.
Yeah. Well, you guys know that, you know, I played a little bit further. I did explore the unfinished content, you know, where you go to the town with Beachz, and the other guy, Michael, was like, you know, chill out, stop getting into trouble. and stuff like that. But you definitely get into trouble. But yeah, this start off just like any other RPG game, fantasy style game where there's a loved one who is either sick or maybe on their deathbed, which is in this case the mother is on her deathbed, and that our silent protagonist, which is the hero named Sam, she makes it her call of duty to go on an adventure to cure her mother. But before we set out on the adventure, we need to go talk to the healer or the guru of the village, which is Michael, who turns out to be, pretty much kind of a strange character, because in the beginning he says, I feel like they're coming for me. You know what I mean? Like like when the game launches and he's like in the woods with the fallen, I guess he's chopping trees or something. I don't know what's going on, but he says they're coming for me. I feel like they're coming for me. So we go visit him. He goes inspect the mother. And he recognized the problem. He recognized that this is the Crimson Decay. So he said there's only one way to cure the mother, and we need to go to the Ever Tree. What is that? What it's called? The all-knowing tree, the Ever Tree, I believe. Not sure.
I don't remember the exact name of the tree.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so we trek to the tree. I believe it's called the Ever Tree. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So we go in there. Apparently, we find one of the blacksmith girls, the blacksmith daughter who ran. There's a lot of different side quests in between, but in the main gist of the story, we go to the tree and we fight the guardian of that tree, where we get a wind crystal. And just like my co-host said, you get the crystal, which is believed to be the cure of the Crimson Decay. But upon exiting, we get a vision, an angel come in front of us. She said this is not enough. You're going to need more of the elements to close the void. But we don't believe her anyways. We do not believe her because we got the crystal in our hands, and this is the last chance, the last hope that we have in order to save our mother. So we go home anyways, not paying attention to what the angel is saying to us, and we're constantly using the crystal to heal mother, but nothing is working. Then lo and behold, the angel was right. She was right. We need to go gather all the element crystals that they are. We don't know what the elementals are, but I can say maybe wind is one, earth is one, maybe water and fire. I'm just guessing. So we leave, and that's pretty much where the story ends, before we run into the creature named Beachz, where he knows about the crystal because it has the same element, the same scent that he recognized that Sam has when she absorbed the power of the crystal.
The scent of death.
Yeah. So maybe the villain at one time had all the elements together. This is speculation now. Maybe the villain had all the elements together at one time and just went on destruction, like on the chaos, and all of a sudden, they vanquish him, and the crystals return to their proper places. I'm speculating now, but that's pretty much where the game ends. So that's pretty much the gist of the story without giving too much. It's kind of weird to me, right? It's kind of weird to me, right? That we have a main character, right? Who's an ordinary girl. When you guys say that she's ordinary?
Yeah, seems like it.
I mean, you never know. Maybe down the line she's gonna be revealed as the fucking chosen.
Because the mother revealed that she was adopted, so there might be something.
I mean,
weird.
you know, you don't just catch the Crimson Decay for no reason.
But
Oh, come on.
But check this out though. Check this out. Most RPGs, when it's dealing with elements, elemental crystals, and all that good stuff, you don't have no elemental abilities until you get that crystal.
That's not true.
Let's say this though. Let's say this.
You mean like in general? In other games?
In general, normally you have basic skills until you go and get that elemental crystal. Then you become imbued with the power of that element, that said element. Can we agree?
Yeah, but you're saying that you have the wind element stuff already before you even get the wind.
Exactly. There you go. Cyclona is a bad man. That boy catch on. That man catch on too quick. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, guys, why do we even have a wind element ability already?
I mean, in theory, why not? Like, why?
Yeah, the other guy has fire.
Yeah, but the other guy, I could understand the other guy. He practices medicine. He practices, alchemy. Pretty much. Yeah, so he's
casting fire.
It makes sense that he has some type of ability, but here we have an ordinary girl that we know nothing about that has a bow for some reason and a wind ability, and who is the chosen person.
The chosen one, yeah.
Why start your character with a wind ability and make it more interesting to give them that ability when they get the crystal?
Well, maybe the crystal resonated with her because she already had that ability. Already. I can kind of see it either way.
I see the point, but like it's not really a big deal. Like
it
could have just been a natural.
But the skills do upgrade though. The wind skill upgrades when you get the crystal, so that kind of makes sense.
So maybe she's just better with wind than she was before.
But how?
Yeah. Padre or whatever he said I took it as the girl had natural wind ability, which is why she could absorb the crystal. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she's gonna absorb all the crystals at one point, so I don't think that point holds. But either way, like nothing says she can't be magically apt before she had the crystal. So
maybe the other guy,
why she wouldn't be
she's magically apt in a town where nobody has magic except one or two individuals.
Who says no of them have magic?
Nobody else had magic except Michael.
The other guy had fire.
Yeah, that's the only guy, Michael. He's the only one that has some ability.
Yeah, so what happens?
So because the villagers don't show you their magic automatically means they don't have any?
So what I'm curious of is when they find the next elemental crystals, like the fire crystal, will Sam, the wind person, get the fire crystal too? Or will the fire crystal be imbued with the other guy who has fire as his ability?
And this is the theory on that. You do find a wind spell book after defeating that wind guardian. Then you also get a fire spell book, but it's only per those characters.
Right, but the future crystals that you're gonna get are different elements, right?
I don't know. I think she's gonna keep wind.
Oh, you mean like they're all wind crystals and the wind gets stronger kind of thing? Yeah, okay.
But
I don't know.
But the fire spell book you cannot use on Sam. You got.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's just my you know, as a writer, I would not give the MC no elemental abilities until we become, if even if she's magically it could be dormant in her until she have like some type of reaction with the crystal, you know what I mean, like with that crystal, then you could see some sort of connection and some sort of mystery, like, oh wow, what's this about her reacting with the crystal, and why she's the chosen one. You know what I mean? Did the wind crystal actually choose her? Now she got a title, a legendary title, the chosen one.
The chosen one. Yeah.
So another theory of mine, maybe this was destiny, where her mother was purposely given the Crimson Decay so she could be led to the wind crystal to get the powers and learn that she has to go forth and get the other elements to close the void. Maybe she's being used as a vessel to do that from the angel. Maybe the angel gave the mother the Crimson Decay to send her, you know, to get the journey started. That's another theory I thought, that I had. You know, so I could be wrong. It's speculation, but it's
I think the most likely case is that this game is just using the most common RPG tropes, and that's about it.
It is very tropey. Yeah.
There's no further reasoning behind that.
You don't think so? You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
We're all RPG makers here. We have no idea about writing.
So you saying that the developer just threw some stuff in there just because it's RPG maker? Is that what you're saying?
Just because it's an RPG, man.
Wow.
It's like your family member's sick and you gotta find the elemental crystals, and it's always the same.
Okay.
Like even if they had
it's very common,
all this backstory to it, which you think it might have, even if it does, it doesn't matter, because anyone picking up this game is gonna be like, oh, all right, we got a sick mother again. Oh man, we're gonna get the fucking elemental crystals again. Oh my god, not this again.
But y'all acting like y'all don't play games and kind of speculate of what can happen, or maybe,
No, I actually don't.
Okay.
I do, but when there's actually something a little bit more unusual to speculate about, I guess I'd put it like that.
All right. So, I mean, I'm thinking there's an evil coming, you know, and the angel gave the mother the Crimson Decay, not to kill her, but to like cause worry. Michael already knew about it. Come on, how nobody else know about this disease except one guy in the whole village? Not even the elder, the old man did not even know about that.
Because the Crimson Decay is an old affliction from the last time the heroes saved the world.
But how come the old man don't know what it is?
Because he's living in a village in fucking nowhere.
He's ignorant.
You don't know jack about the world, man. And you already know the healer guy is a hero. Like the map name for the house where he lives in is literally the hero's house. Like dead giveaway.
Yeah, so maybe Michael will get the other crystal You know,
Yeah, I
like,
suspect that like Michael gets a fire crystal, and then you get some other party member which gets like the earth crystal, and you get a fourth party member that gets like fucking
the,
know the
the
lightning
shadow
crystal or whatever.
the shadow crystal.
No. The shadow crystal is reserved for the big bad evil, and you gotta
Yeah.
wrest it from his dead hands at some point or some shit like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's talk about. let's kind of tie in some other elements. The developer tried to go the route where you get to pick and choose certain fights. Well, more of gameplay. Who wants to the developer tried to try something different from what other RPG games normally, try to get their players to do. Like with the regular battle systems and stuff like that. Right? So this developer opt out for no experience, no enemy drops, just pure, fighting random battles. And on top of that, he stated that in order to become stronger and get better stuff, you must help others, per se. You must help others with their task in order to get better equipment or better items or whatnot. What you guys think about that with this type of gameplay?
I don't know. It seemed pretty generic to me. It was like a couple basic attacks, your basic items, your healing, the equipment is, each new piece of equipment gives you like 1 or 2 points of stat increase. It just seemed pretty standard fare, honestly. That's kind of what I would think.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Harlequin?
Yeah, the combat system itself, like in a vacuum, there's nothing to talk about here. Like it's just the basic turn-based combat system you see everywhere else. Like there's nothing here to engage or anything, and it doesn't need to be, because you're not supposed to fight. Like the only reason you're gearing up is in order to win unavoidable fights. Mm-hmm. Like the game pushes you constantly to avoid battle. Like you're not supposed to fight, and you don't get a choice either. Like you're not getting rewarded. You get a choice to fight if you want to, but you're not getting anything out of it. Mm-hmm. Like it's discouraged to even try and fight, which is, in my opinion, a very bad design. Mm-hmm. Like if you're gonna give me the choice in a game of, like, let's say being evil or good, or being like a fucking mercenary and murdering everybody, if I have that choice, I expect to get something out of it. If combat is meaningless, then just don't have it. Period. Like there's no point in having it. Like the only reason you fight is because RPGs apparently need battles or something like that. I don't know. This game could do without battles because there's no reward for them. Like you get no XP, no drops, no gold, no nothing. And you also don't get any rewards from like NPCs or whatever. So there's not a single upside to choosing battle over like running away or using the bug repellent or whatever, right? There's no upside to it, so there's no reason to choose battle over not battling.
We don't know that.
I mean, in the 2 hours I've played, I've battled everything. I've battled the Hornet, and I've battled that slime in the beginning in the tutorial, and you get nothing, absolutely nothing. So what's the point of being able to fight these things?
So you
get nothing out of it.
So you fought the Hornets?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you ain't use no repellents. And you fought.
So I even fought the slime in the tutorial. I didn't use the slime cooldown, whatever item. I fought the extra straggler slime, and the dude just comments on it like, I hope you don't make it a habit. Like the game just constantly pushes you towards this pacifism path, which would be fine if it wasn't a choice, if this was just the game and you had to be like smart about it and like outwit enemies or solve puzzles to get around encounters and whatnot. That would be a cool gameplay mechanic, but like giving me an item to just straight up avoid the battle and not rewarding me for winning a difficult fight is just a bad design, right? And if they made it more like, let's say, Undertale, where you had a battle system, but you could within that battle system choose to either kill the enemy or be smart about it and make it not hostile anymore, spare it or make it your friend or whatnot. That was interesting. That was an interesting mechanic in that game.
Yeah.
But it's not present here. It's just use the bug repellent or don't use it. Right? And in Undertale, if you kill people, you level up. Right? And you get items and whatnot. In this game, you just get nothing. So it's not really a choice. It's just either play the game the way the developer wanted you to play it or screw you. That's what I got out of it.
So what I'm thinking is every decision can be critical. And I think that was noted too. Watch what you do. It can have consequences. So
Didn't seem to have any.
Fighting the bees, or let's say letting some enemies go, could have a consequence or whatnot. A lot of this speculation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Go ahead.
Like maybe if you kill the bees, there's no honey in next year's harvest.
But it's not even a bee. You're killing a hornet.
Well, yeah, but there was bees. There was bees around as well.
Yeah,
The hornet was. It was like the bees were hanging out with the hornet, which was kind of funny.
Which is kind of weird already.
Because you know, people's all about saving the bees. The bees help the earth. They don't care about wasps. They don't care about hornets.
Yeah,
you
hornets
can kill
are assholes. Kill all the fucking hornets.
Yeah, you can kill them, but the bees, people will go crazy about them bees. They'll go like really crazy. You know, they love them bees. You know what I mean? But I like the idea where you do have a informed decision as a player. The outcome may not be what we want, of course. It may not be what we wanted, but you never know. You may fight an enemy, they may drop something, and the NPC may be looking for that particular item, and you may get rewarded for having that particular item. You know what I mean? You never know. You know? So,
but it didn't happen though. Like my problem is not the idea itself. The idea itself is fine. You can have a game where you can pick and choose between going pacifist or not. But you have to reward your player for either path. You have to give him something. Right now, nothing happens. Killing the wasp does nothing. It doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give you any NPC dialogue or whatnot. Like, nothing happens. There is never a point where fighting is the right option.
So basically you could get that treasure chest regardless you fight them or not.
Yeah.
And you're going to get the repellent no matter what you do.
Yeah, you can. I got the repellent and I got the slime repellent item too, which is basically useless now, I assume, because I didn't see any other slimes I could even use it on.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't meet another wasp either.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have a use for these items I saved now. And there's like, it's fine. If there is any consequences to that, then it needs to be shown earlier. Like in 2 hours, you failed to show me any consequence of my action, other than combat being useless. Right? I didn't face any consequence for killing the wasp. I didn't face any consequences for killing the slime. I didn't even bother with a side quest. I just went to the tree and bought the best gear available at the shop right outside of the tree, and I still lost to the Chimera.
Well, I was able to win against the Chimera because there were if you do some of the little side quests in the tree or near the tree, you'll get items that reduce the wind damage by 50%, and the Chimera does wind damage. So that definitely made all the difference.
I use that slash thing. Like the Chimera has a buff to it. You can remove the buff, but even then it just two-shot me.
No. It's like a cloak you can wear that reduces all wind damage done to you by 50%.
So why is it a side quest then? If I literally cannot win without doing a side quest, a missable side quest.
I didn't use that item. I still won.
You didn't.
There's still a way to win.
You win? Like this Chimera thing just spammed its like AoE thing twice every time.
You use the guard right before they.
I did guard both times. I got 20 HP, and if I guard, the skill does 15 damage.
Yeah.
Right, and also too, something to keep in mind is that you get a free item use in this game. So like when you use an item, it doesn't count as a turn.
Yeah, I know. I tried. Like,
I guess it didn't like you.
The system is nothing special.
It didn't like.
But like, it does the first AoE thing charge up, and I'm like, all right, I'm guarding. Like, it's 15 damage anyway, so I got a heal, so I'm healing, and it's doing it right away. So I'm not even back up full health.
Oh, you got bad RNG.
Needing another. But I got it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, the random number generator wasn't treating you right.
It's like I wasn't even back to full health. I cannot tank 2 15 damage hits. It's not possible.
Yeah.
And it did that 3 times, and then I was just out of there. Like, if it's RNG, then fix your RNG, I guess. The Chimera should not use that skill twice in a row, under no circumstance.
Could put a cooldown on it. Yeah.
Like, that's just a balancing issue then. And if I need that cloak to win, then it's not a side quest and it shouldn't be missable. Like, either way, it's not a good design.
He got a point. He has a point.
As I said, like, the only thing, like, it's not fun for me to explore either, because everything I find is just used for obligatory fights I cannot avoid, because the game clearly wants you to not fight, but it still throws enemies your way you cannot avoid, which is weird. Like, I'm gearing up for fights I cannot avoid. That's the only reason I need gear anyway, because all the other fights I'm supposed to not fight anyway. Like, it's a weird game design.
Yeah.
So the right design, in my opinion, would have been if I had an option to not fight the Chimera, right? Like, talk to it, like Baldur's Gate style or whatever, dialogue options and roles. Negotiate. Like, we've been allowed in this room. Why are we being attacked in the first place? The fucking tree allowed me to take the crystal. Why am I attacked?
They're testing you to see, are you worthy?
Testing me why?
Are you worthy of taking the crystal?
Are you really the chosen one?
Exactly.
What kind of design is that?
That's in most all games. That's
about to be pacifist.
That's in all RPG games, bro.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It has this game has combat because nobody could figure out how to make an RPG that doesn't have combat. It doesn't need to be there. There's no point to it.
I think it has.
Does the Chimera drop anything?
The wind crystal.
Does it give you anything?
The wind crystal.
Oh, great. What a reward for a tough boss fight I just won. I already absorbed the crystal. What am I gonna do with another?
I don't.
It makes no sense.
No. You get the crystal first, then you walk out, then you get attacked, right? Yeah, that's what happens.
No, you go in, absorb the crystal, then the fucking Chimera pops up.
Yeah, you leave and he said, "Oh, I knew it wasn't gonna be that easy." Then you get in the fight.
Yeah, but what do you get for beating the boss?
get to keep the crystal in your life.
Oh, you're gonna game over.
I don't know.
How is that a reward?
I didn't get a game over.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're not getting rewarded for beating the boss. You're just progressing the story.
I think you get, if I recall correctly, I think you get a tab after like the magic tabs that increase your stats.
Oh, the magic tab, you already found 4 in the way to the boss?
I don't think you get a tab, if I ain't mistaken.
Oh, but you don't get anything. I don't remember what you get. I think you get something, but I forget what it was.
I didn't see it, obviously, but no fight ever dropped anything for me, so I'm gonna assume neither does the Chimera. So it's not really rewarding. It's just, why is it there? Like, what purpose does the Chimera fight offer you aside from it just being there because RPGs have boss fights? It's not rewarding. You're not getting anything. You're not getting experience or gold or items or level ups or gear or anything.
Or the Chimera as a pet.
Yeah, you just get nothing. It's not fun.
So
like all the things you find, you only find in order to beat the next forced fight that you have to do. The entire game tells you to not fight things, just to throw fights at you can't avoid. And that's the only reason gear even exists.
So basically what you're saying is this. Side quests aren't as optional as it should be to the player, because if you're not presented with the proper battle system, like getting stronger through the traditional way of leveling up, and you're supposed to get stronger doing these meaningless side quests, why is it even called a side quest? If
a side quest is mandatory for progression, it's not a side quest.
Basically, it can be mandatory because, I
mean, you beat it without the cloak, so it's definitely not mandatory, right? I just had bad RNG like 3 times in a row, I guess. So it's bad balancing then. All right, cool. Then the side quests are still side quests, but optional content is optional. Like, if I don't want to do it, your game should still be winnable because it's optional content. If you're forcing me to do it, it's not optional.
So you feel like the combat is being forced?
The combat is just slapped on because for some reason, I guess the developer couldn't think of anything else that's better than having like the regular JRPG combat system. Like I said, if they went more like the Undertale route of me having to outsmart or win enemies over for a pacifist run, that would have been a good design because that was fun. Right? Fighting these enemies in Undertale and figuring out how to spare them and how to not kill them, that was fun. Much more fun than killing them, actually. So, and they kind of want you in this game to not kill stuff, right? They keep telling you that from the start of the game. Like, don't kill stuff if you don't have to. Like, use the repellent, don't fight, don't kill stuff, don't be a bad bitch. Right? They keep telling you that like for an hour straight. But I have no other choice other than running away beforehand, which is not engaging, it's not fun. Like, just clicking no is not a fun gameplay mechanic. A fun gameplay mechanic is, if I could, pacify the wasp, or I don't know.
I think it'd be cool to have the wasp as a pet. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like something
like
that,
you
right?
can charm them.
Yeah,
so
charm it, tame it, whatever. Like, there's millions of options available. Like, the sky is the limit. And you went with bug repellent. It's like, and then you forced another boss fight on me, which I cannot avoid at any cost. Which is why? Why do I have to kill this creature? Like, you keep telling me don't kill shit. just to throw mandatory encounters into my face, which I have to fight.
I did find that part with the Chimera kind of weird because they like give you permission to enter and then you have to fight it after you get the crystal.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
It was
Why
a little
am I
awkward,
being attacked? It's weird. Like, I'm literally getting permission to take the crystal. Right? And then you're just getting attacked by a fucking chimera in a tree. Huh?
Like what would have probably made a little more sense, in my opinion, is that the wolf dude was talking about something coming to attack the tree or something, and like maybe when you're given permission to enter, you get the crystal, but then they do attack at that time, and it's not a chimera, but some kind of like the bad guys or whatever who want the crystal or whatever. You know, maybe something like that would have made a little more sense.
Millions of different ways. Like, it could have been a choice-based thing too. Like, you could maybe sneak into the room and then you're getting attacked because you're fucking stealing the crystal, or you could run some errands for the tree and then you're allowed to take the crystal, taking the pacifist route, not fighting the chimera. Like, there's hundreds of options, but it's not what they did. What they did is telling you to not fight just to give you fights you cannot avoid. It's like a weird design. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, even with the lizards you fight, you saving the guy and you just straight up kill the lizards. Like, you didn't even try to not kill the lizards. Like, you didn't open your inventory and threw some fucking meat at them in hopes they're gonna go away or anything. No. You just kill them straight up. No remorse. Like, it just doesn't make any sense design-wise to me.
So why there's no dinosaur lizard repellent then?
Yeah, if you want to make a game with a choice to avoid combat because you're trying to saving the planet or whatever, cool, do that, but give me options like trying to avoid combat, being rewarded for avoiding combat, and being rewarded differently with different consequences if I don't avoid it. Like, it's again, like, a good example is Baldur's Gate. Again, I know it's a AAA game and I'm not trying to straight up compare it, but the choices is what makes it great, right?
Yeah,
like, you can go the evil route and just obliterate everybody and all the druids and whatnot, or you could not and help them out. Like, either way, you're gonna progress the story, but people are gonna react differently to it.
I don't think I could play Baldur's Gate 3 because y'all pretty much spoiled the whole game on the Discord.
No.
I've been over 100 hours in, and I'm still finding new shit in the beginning.
Y'all showing screenshot Dotson and everything. Like, man, can't even play.
You can play it fine, no worries.
Can't even play the game no more.
Yeah, you'll have a different experience if you play it compared to either of us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is so good.
Okay. We'll see when I pick it up.
There's a lot of choice in that game, which is really fun.
Absolutely. Like, I'm still finding new ways of doing all these quests and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. And I'm not saying you need to do that in an RPG making game. Like, the scale is not comparable, of course.
You can kind of do it though. Of course, a little bit more of a toned down version, but I've seen it done.
Not as massively scaled, of course, but you can have different outcomes and different choices, even as a single developer.
So you can't really see this game having the different outcome and choices that a game
did you find any?
Like, I could see it having it, but it didn't actually. Like, even when I lied to the guy and told him that the tree was the opposite direction, the other dude was like, "How could you lie to him?" And then if you go and find him again, you just say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, bro. And he goes, "Oh, I must have misheard you." And then
I think you actually get something for telling him the right direction.
No, you don't.
You don't?
No, I accidentally gave him the right direction because I clicked on the wrong thing. I wanted to lie, but I forgot which direction it actually was.
Oh, so you don't
I
get
put the
nothing?
right answer in, but you don't get anything. Like he's just standing at the tree. Like he's the shopkeeper in front of the tree where you can get
Yeah.
the gear.
And he's the fast travel from the town
Yeah.
to the
Oh yeah,
tree.
he's the fast travel guy. Exactly. That's what he does.
Maybe that's the reward, right? The
I
fast
mean,
travel.
what happens if you don't give him the right direction?
Do you
Well,
get
then you have to
fast?
manually walk back and forth.
See, there you go. There you go.
There you go. Okay, so
Choices,
that's the only
choices.
consequence then.
It doesn't matter. It's there though. It's
No, it's
there.
not there though.
What do you
It needs to
mean?
be in the combat
You
system.
know how long? You know how far that walk is from the tree back to town? That's a long walk, my guy. That's a long freaking walk.
Yeah, I'm not bashing that. I mean, it's a bad design still.
But you
Fast
don't
travel
know.
should
You
be
don't.
enabled by default.
No,
but-
sir. No, sir. I disagree. I disagree.
Oh man, backtracking shouldn't be in a game ever, in my opinion.
Unless
But-
unless there's something new going on.
Yeah,
that kind of-
unless there's a reason to backtrack, backtracking is not a good thing.
right, like if the town caught on fire from being attacked or something.
Or you can take a different path backtracking or some shit like
Right.
that. You know, like new stuff. Nobody wants
Yeah.
to go back the same way they came from finding
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. I
not
agree with that.
So I don't know, but like that's like a side choice. It's not important. Like even if you mess it up, okay, you're taking one trip back, whatever. But the main crux of the game is avoiding combat. Like the game keeps telling you, please do not kill shit. But it doesn't lean into that. It doesn't give you a choice other than use bug repellent or not. It's not fun.
Okay.
If you fight it, you get a tough battle and no rewards for it.
Okay.
It's like, where's the fun in that?
I
Like
do.
you, as an RPG player, you want to fight. if the RPG has a battle system, you want to fight tough enemies, you want to fight bosses and epic battles and whatnot. But what's the point if you're not getting anything out of it?
Yeah. I do agree with you, my guy. Like I really do. Like that was this not having a battle system, like a proper battle system, kind of took the enjoyment away
Yeah, the combination doesn't work
from playing,
as it
and
is right now.
the exploring itself just isn't enough to like really engage the player. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like the stuff that's around, like the characters. I mean, that's really good and all that. But in between, you know, you're gonna want to put these abilities to test. You're gonna want to, you know, fight some enemies here and there at will, and not just everything that's invented. Like all your battles are scripted and invented. And
I mean, it took the fun out of exploring for me because I knew the only reason I'm finding all this shit is to be able to win the next mandatory fight I cannot avoid, even though the game keeps telling me I should avoid it.
yeah,
It's like I'm not preparing for myself. I'm not finding anything cool. I'm just preparing for the next battle the game throws at me because for some reason.
yeah. I mean, it's understandable, and you know, it makes a whole lot of sense too. You know, like where some people may like the design, where some people may not like the design. And
I'm gonna make the design interesting. I find the idea interesting of a hero that's trying to avoid to do harm. That's cool and all, but you gotta make it engaging anyway,
of course,
right? And I'm going back to Undertale again because that was engaging. I always had the choice to just rampage and kill everyone I find, or I had the choice to try and figure out how to avoid killing them, which was fun. That's engaging. But this one isn't. Like this one, this game's choice of avoiding a fight is a yes/no question. Like, do you want to fight this wasp or do you want to use the bug repellent? It's a yes/no question. It's not fun.
and that you're given that choice within the first 10 minutes of the game.
Even earlier, you get the choice right at the tutorial. You get the item to avoid the encounter, and then the encounter happens. And then it's a yes/no question. Do I want to use this item to appease the slime, or do I just want to kill the slime? Yes/no question. I got the item 2 seconds before the encounter happened. Same with the wasp. Talk to the guy and you get the bug repellent. And 2 steps later, there's a wasp you can use it on. It's like, it's not fun. I'm not trying to figuring out anything. I'm just using a fucking item. Or fight the battle and get nothing out of it. I mean, you did get the honey, I guess. I don't know if that has any use even.
I think you turn the honey into somebody.
It could be a side quest. Maybe. I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying. Like you may get items that other NPCs are looking for, but either way, the game should be designed if you do a quest or if you don't do a quest. If you beat an enemy or you don't, like a regular enemy, or you could use a repellent. Either way, whatever route you chose, the game should be beatable.
Yeah, of course. But that's just a balancing issue, I think. Like, making the charge attack happen at random is just not very well programmed.
So maybe in a way, you're making the game more difficult.
I mean, that's always the case, right? If you do side quests and start in like Skyrim, the game is gonna be easier too, because you're getting all these items.
Yeah.
And you're level 500 by the time you're trying to beat a level 10 boss.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But a side quest should always be optional, right? I should have a normal difficulty time if I don't do any side quests ever. If I just follow the main story, I should always be well prepared for what's ahead. Because that's the main story. Optional content is that, optional.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, as Brew put it, if you want your player to experience a thing in your game, don't make it optional, because many people are not gonna do these optional things. Or not all of them anyway. They might just miss it.
You're right. There's plenty. It's easy. Not everybody do all side quests.
I hate side quests for the most part. In most games, I don't do side quests because it's ridiculous. They just make the game easier. I'm like 20 levels ahead of the boss I have to fight at the end of the fucking game. And I haven't even left the first area.
Because
I'm not doing them.
Because they like to give experience with the quest and stuff. I really don't understand the experience.
You're getting items and experience and whatnot. You're fighting all these enemies and you're getting so strong that the rest of the game is just not a challenge anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a walk through the park. And that's why most of the time I don't do side quests. I focus on the main story first of all, because I want to experience it from the standpoint of the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm just steamrolling the big bad evil, the game kind of loses its stakes for me, because I'm already God. I don't give a shit about this dragon. I just slap it in the face. And that's kind of boring.
In games, I like side quests in games, but if it's, I don't like fetch quests and really like dumb side quests. But when there's something that it adds to the story, I do like it. Like let's say you have like a base of operations or something, and then you see that after you do the side quest, they like join you, and then you see them working on shit in the castle or some shit. Like that's like. And maybe there's some story element to it. That's kind of where I like side quests. But
side quests gotta be like a self-contained like story.
Right.
Interesting self-contained story about the person you're doing the side quest for. Yeah, sure, of course. Otherwise, it's just boring. But also, the rewards shouldn't be always just a power-up, because again, unless you're scaling the main story to the player, which has its own drawbacks, you're just gonna make the main story fucking easy and irrelevant to the game. As I said, like if I play Skyrim and I'm doing all the side quests, by the time I reach all of them, I'm fucking one-shotting the guy. Because I'm just so overall powerful, I'm literally God.
Dang.
And I don't know, for me it just takes the fun out of the game if I'm just so overpowerful after doing side quests everywhere that the main content of the game is just a joke. It's not fun anymore.
Yeah, I do like it when it's hard, kind of hard.
I mean, it doesn't need to be like hard,
but
it should be a balanced experience, right? It shouldn't be like too easy. But that's what happens if you do side quests. Like the first couple of side quests are kind of challenging, kind of hard because you're really low level right now. But once you do a couple of them, you're so high level and you got so many skills and items acquired that the main content of the game is just a joke now. So you're really walking up in Skyrim, like you meet your first dragon and he's already a joke because you did like 15 side quests anywhere else. Right, cool. So the dragons are not a threat anymore. So you just go to the Greybeards and it's already pointless because you're already so powerful. You don't need no fucking shouting. You can just tank every trap you come across. Like it just makes the content like meaningless.
So,
unlike in this game where you just don't get anything.
So instead of, when you play an RPG, there's item shops, there's weapon shops. Of course, you need to visit these shops to like get your gear and stuff like that, right? So you can become stronger. But there's no battles in this game where you normally would gain experience and get stronger. So the developer went this route of trying to create an explorable environment where if you talk to different objects in the environment, you find stuff, which is money. Because how else?
Always 25.
It's always 25. So how else are you supposed to get stronger? What I would do, man, I really don't like that design, especially I mean, I like exploring. I like being rewarded for checking stuff. But it's no longer rewarding if you know what you're going to get, which is 25 gold at all the time. Like who's going to find 25 gold in 10 different bushes on the same map? It doesn't make sense. So just
I mean, I don't find it rewarding anyway. Like finding gold and finding potions. It's not rewarding.
I'd rather have the ordinary battles where I could get gold, maybe not by the enemy drops. Maybe the enemy could drop like body parts where you could sell them in the how some games go. Enemies don't drop gold, they'll drop
I do that too. Like my monsters drop the crystals, if you remember.
And you could sell that to like maybe a monster trader or something.
I mean, this game is not grindable, right? It's not. Everything is in limited supply. You can only find so much gold on the map, and you can only earn so much items and gold from the side quests. Once that runs out, you're out. Which is also, in my opinion, not a great design. Like it can work, but I don't think an RPG should work like that. I shouldn't be forced. Like let's say I reach the shopkeeper, I want to buy gear, right? And I've exhausted every chest up until this point. I cannot get more gold. The only way I can get more gold is doing side quests, which again makes them not optional. Because I can't win this fight without getting this new armor because I'm getting one shot. So I need this gold and I need to do the side quests. And if I need to do side quests, they're not optional.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's mandatory, it's not optional. Like, it can't be both.
Well, it kind of can be, because you don't have to do all the side quests for it to work out. You might only need to do 3 of them out of like 9, right? You know, so
I mean, it's a delicate balance. Let's say I'm just fucking. Let's say I'm just fucking bad at video games. Spend all my money on potions because that worked out so far. Just out heal the enemy because potions don't consume an action. Let's say I wasted all my money on potions. What am I gonna do now? I face a boss that one-shots me now, and my potions are useless because I don't even get to use them because I'm instantly dead. But I got no way of obtaining more gold.
No way.
I cannot grind for gold because there's no combat, and combat doesn't drop any gold. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna restart the fucking game? After 2 hours, after 3 hours of progress, am I just gonna restart the game? And nah.
You gotta do what you got to do.
Not happening.
Not happening.
So if you limit supplies like that, I don't know. You either make them really abundant, so there's a lot of room for error, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's fairly possible to, as a player, to just lock yourself. Like, as I said, if I spent all my money on potions, which I could have, I'm screwed. Like, I cannot upgrade my gear. I cannot gain any more money anywhere because I cannot progress anywhere, and I can't beat this guy. So what am I gonna do?
Can't do jack, my guy.
Yeah, can't do jack. Like any other RPG, you could at least go and fucking grind like 5 levels and just brute force the encounter by having superior stats, which doesn't work here. So I don't know. I bought the best gear I could get from the guy, and I still got 2-shot, and he used the ability twice in a row for some reason, 3 times in a row. So I don't know.
You're not gonna be able to survive that regardless, no matter what kind of
I
gear
only
you
have
got.
20 HP. What am I supposed to do?
Yep.
I don't know, like the idea is there, I guess. You can make something of that idea. Like Undertale already did it. But you gotta make it interesting and what's the other word? Not involving.
But Undertale did have
engaging.
Engaging, yeah, there it is.
Undertale did have leveling.
Yeah, but only if you killed stuff, right? So you could go either way. You could go the lunatic way and kill fucking everybody and level up and get items and whatnot. Or you could try and be smart about it and not kill anybody. Right?
Yeah.
They had different outcomes and whatnot. But the system was the same. You would always combat enemies and dodge their attacks and whatnot. But instead of attacking, you try to talk to them meanwhile.
Yeah.
So the combat system was always there and always engaging.
Yeah.
It was up to your decisions how the combat would evolve.
You have more of a I see.
And this game has 0 player agency. It's just like run around, open fucking crates and everything, get your 25 gold, and that's about it.
You ain't
and
lying.
Fight whatever forced fight you have.
That's the magical number in this game. 25. It's the magical number.
Yeah, maybe it's a bug. Like I forgot about that too. Like I forgot to randomize the variable I had put up. If you remember, in the first demo, it was always like 30 gold in my game because I forgot to put the randomized variable there. But yeah, either way, even if it was randomized, it makes no difference. Maybe randomizing it would even be bad. Like, what if you had a lot of bad rolls, so you had much less gold and no way of acquiring more, right? That's also a bad thing. Like, then you're screwed again. So I don't know.
Well, the character needs to get a job.
Yeah, I think so too. They just stop looking for fantasy crystals and go work at the tavern or some shit.
So
I mean, they have a tavern mini game, but even they're just not paying you.
Yeah, I didn't
Right?
get. I
Seven
didn't. I
did it
didn't.
on stream.
Yeah, I
He
didn't
get $1 for his
Well,
work.
I'm gonna give them a fair chance because that's in the unfinished area. Maybe you do get a
Yeah, I'm
reward,
just joking. I'm just joking.
but
Yeah, this was unfinished, but like, yeah, maybe if that was a way to consistently earn money, I have nothing against that. You can have multiple job mini games type of things like that and earn money like that too. Is fun.
and there's
Just make the mini games fun. Right?
there's the arena to think about too, guys.
Yep, combat arena.
Yeah. But why is there a combat arena in a game where you're not supposed to fight? Like, I just don't understand the design philosophy here. Like the game tries to focus on combat while trying to tell you to not to fight.
I mean, it's obvious that combat is avoidable in this game. I mean, it's not avoidable because you got an evil guy running around, you know what I mean, causing havoc. So apparently, you know, you're gonna have to fight him. Then you got, you know, story related combat. I'm pretty sure you're gonna fight each element that you get. You're gonna fight a boss there.
At least there's gonna be a boss there. Yes.
So
exactly. That's
why
the thing.
why not have the traditional combat system where you can gain strength and leveling up the proper way? Even if you don't level up, let's say you don't even level up.
You don't need to level up. You don't level up in Origins either. I don't have a level system. You don't need it.
Yeah, it'll be good to at least get, you know, to engage the player more so they could get money to buy certain stuff instead of just finding it in chests and bushes and barrels. Like, that's taking away a lot when it comes to fun factor. Cause all you doing is not all you're doing is focusing on bushes and barrels every map. You're not looking at the detail. You're looking at bushes. Oh, there's a bush. There's a bush. There's a bush. There's a barrel. There's a barrel. Hey, a treasure chest.
I don't like that style anyway.
Hey,
I don't like
a
games
treasure
where
chest.
they just put items everywhere.
I mean,
because
that's
all that happens is you just try and click everything.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're clicking. You're clicking away. Your X button is getting worn faster than.
It's really not fucking funny.
Oh, man.
It's not fun gameplay. Just going around clicking every tile.
Yeah.
Because there could be something.
Yeah.
I hate that design. I fucking hate it.
I mean,
stupid.
I don't mind it. I like it. It got to be done right, though.
What's the problem with just having an item sparkle? Like, the player is gonna look for the lootables anyway. So what's the difference between me having you as a player click on every fucking tile?
Sparkles work. Sparkle.
Or
I like
you just
that.
put sparkles and the player can stop looking at every fucking tile and just know to look for a sparkle.
I played
Which one is more efficient?
I played one game. Once you find an item, like I mean, before you had to like loot, like point to like, you know, search everything
like an item detector basically.
And you see, I like that. You know,
yeah, it's a cool extra mechanic. Sure, yeah, I can see that. But like, I don't know. In this game, it's just you don't feel like you want to gear up, you want to be stronger. It's not a want as the player. You just need to, because you're not gonna be able to beat the next boss if you don't.
Yeah.
It's not an interest of me, because I'm just a girl from the woods. I don't give a shit. And like, the design doesn't make sense. You can't go and tell me to avoid combat as much as I can just to throw combat at me at every turn. And giving me no choice to avoid it either.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Starscry. You gotta check everything. Check.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the two design philosophies here, they just don't work out. Like, if you want to give the player a pacifist choice, that's cool. Just make it interesting, and not just throw battle at me for the sake of battle.
Gotta love
RPG have battles. Like, no, it doesn't. You don't need to have combat. If you design your game around pacifist routes, then make this gameplay mechanic interesting. And keep
DJ
it
said,
consistent.
DJ King said earlier, if then it's not an RPG if it don't have combat.
Of course it is. RPG is not combat.
That's not what DJ King said.
Well, DJ King has no fucking idea then.
Yeah, I think you can have an RPG. I think like any genre, RPGs have different subgenres, and
I mean, an RPG is RPG elements, right?
Yeah,
it's levels and stats and builds.
Well, it's role playing game. Playing the role of a character
game.
is the base of
it.
Yeah. So
you can role play a character without fighting shit.
So even I think that even like visual novels are RPGs, but they're just a different kind of RPG, and then you have strategy RPGs, and then you have lots of different subgenres of the genre. But it's basically at the root of it, you're playing a role, and usually there's some kind of story. So
yeah, I guess that's a little bit too broad of a term, though. Like I guess nowadays an RPG is always gonna involve some kind of stats. And builds and whatnot, gear and what you usually see in an RPG. Because if you just go by role playing a character, then pretty much every game is an RPG.
Yeah.
Like even a strategy game like Civilization, you're still picking a leader. You're playing the leader of your nation. So it's an RPG. Yeah. You're playing a character. So that doesn't make any sense, right? That's too broad of a term.
Right.
Oh yeah, but anyway, like an RPG doesn't need to have combat at all.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to as well.
Yeah, and in this game,
I like combat, but
of course, like who doesn't? Like epic fights and whatnot, high stakes, everybody loves it. But you don't need to have it. And in this game, it just feels slapped on there because that's what RPGs do. It's like combat, fight stuff.
So he pretty much tried to. He know that the game isn't. That's not his main focus. He's mainly pretty much want to tell a story. But the player is going to get bored. Let's let them fight a couple battles, so they won't get bored of my story.
Or make maybe, but the combat system isn't fun either. Like it's not consistent with the notion of pacifist, so that's a problem already. And the combat itself is so basic. It's not engaging either. It's just use your skills until you have no MP, and then attack or guard depending on the situation until you have MP again, and then spam your skills again. That's how it works, unless you're getting a bad RNG and the boss just two-shots you anyway, no matter what you do.
Gotta love it.
Right? So there's no unique battle mechanic that keeps me on my toes. There's no mechanic where I can pacify my enemies or tame them as a pet or anything to avoid having to kill them as the game wants me to. So it's just not fitting for the game. It doesn't serve the vision of the game or anything, and the system itself is boring too.
Yeah.
You can have the best writing and characters all you want, but if the gameplay sucks, the gameplay sucks. Like, it is what it is. If you just want to tell a story with no gameplay, write a visual novel or write a book or make a fucking anime or some shit like that. A game will always be about player interaction and player agency and keeping the player engaged and stuff like that. If you just want to tell a story, a game is not the way to go, in my opinion. Silence.
I mean, I'm disappointed because I know this game, man. This game has a lot of potential. Like, I really like.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It has a lot of potential. It really does.
I mean, two things though. Potential doesn't mean anything.
No, but
everything on the planet has potential. Nobody gives a shit. Right? If you don't realize your potential is meaningless. And from the story side of things, it's your everyday not Final Fantasy game. So where is this potential you see?
It has a pretty good plot, man. The plot
Where does it have a good plot?
No, it's not quite there. It's
the
not
most
quite there.
generic.
Y'all not
it's-
seeing y'all not seeing what I see. That's the problem. You're not seeing.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you to explain. Like, where is this good plot? Gather elemental crystals. Hashtag Final Fantasy. Like, where is this plot? Where are these interesting characters and plot twists and whatnot you're seeing?
Why is she the chosen one? Who inflicted the
Give
mother?
a shit because the crystal chose her. Why are you the chosen one?
Come
in Final
on, bro.
Fantasy? Because you are the player.
gotta-
That's why.
Cychronic, help me out here, my guy.
No, I'm with Simple Gaming on this one.
Woo!
It's not interesting.
Come
Sorry,
on,
man.
bro.
I've seen this plot. I've seen this plot a million times before.
Man, come
It's-
on.
Everybody and their mama
Man.
is using elemental crystals.
All right. I'm about to debunk all y'all. The All Father, the one, the head honcho, Padre 81 said, I genuinely think it does, but I also think the pacifist thing is pointless and create a dissonance within the game. Something can be generic and still interesting and good. So he agrees that the plot is interesting.
No, he agrees.
He
that it
agrees
could
the
be
plot is interesting. Yeah.
No, it could
Yeah.
be, but it isn't.
He said, I generally think it does. That he ain't say could be. He said
you
he
can-
generally think it does, my guy.
You can make
Bro,
a generic
he's-
game.
he-
You can do that.
Sanctuary
and people are still gonna love it.
Sanctuary Games has spoken. So
Man,
what's-
Sanctuary Games got nothing.
what
on
Sanctuary Games say, it is law.
No, man. It's fine. You can make this type of plot. You can make, and people are gonna like it anyway.
Yeah,
Because-
it's pretty cool. I like
I
it.
mean, I don't think it is, but
Huh?
people gonna play it anyway because they do like the SNES graphics and people like familiar things.
Final
right?
Fantasy
They
is a
have
beautiful. It's a beautiful
They
tile
have,
set.
they have no issue hunting for the millionth elemental crystal in their life. They're still gonna do it,
Mm.
but it's not there though. Like the rest of the game doesn't hold up to that.
Okay. So
Right? The characters are okay-ish, I suppose.
you're not
at least
you're not curious of what the void could be.
I don't give a shit.
Wow.
It just,
Why,
it
why
just
would
sounds-
I care?
It just
I'm not
sounds like
so
hell.
easily intrigued.
It just sounds like hell, generic.
But
hell.
in all fairness though, could you say the way that the game is presented itself, you lost interest of what was going on?
I had none to begin with.
Dang.
Like, the game
Yeah,
started out with the sick mother trope, and I already had enough.
Really?
yeah,
Of course, it's not
Yeah,
interesting.
I didn't find it very interesting either. I found it a little
But-
boring.
I mean, I already it already lost a point for me because it's fucking generic at the start. But the real problem came later, like when you keep playing the game as we do, because I need to know what I'm talking about on the podcast, so I keep playing anyway. There's nothing happening. I've been playing for 2 hours and there was no revelations, no plot twists, nothing interesting happening. I'm just getting a crystal and fighting a chimera of all things in a tree for some reason. Like nothing happened. Like there was nothing interesting happened. The stakes didn't rise or anything, and there was nothing revealed to me why the dude can cast fire or anything. Like there was nothing. So the game started out generic and offered me nothing interesting during 2 hours of gameplay. Like combat is boring. Side quests I'm not interested in because why would I? And the main story is just get the crystals like you have done so many times in so many other games.
Yeah, the let's get the magical crystals
Yeah,
thing.
it's like there is
it's
something
a
missing
million
here.
times, literally millions of times.
You can do a generic plot like that, but you need interesting characters again. And if you don't give me anything in 2 hours aside from generic girl who's for some reason the chosen one and hero of olden days apparently because it's the hero's house, so he obviously is like the last savior of the world or whatever. I mean, at some point I'm just gonna say and just quit the game because it's boring.
So you don't see yourself completing this game from start to finish?
No, I'm completing no games on this podcast.
What about you, Cychronic?
No, not really. I mean, I feel like it could get better though. Like, I hope that the developer kind of takes some of the feedback and then it does get better. But I'm when it comes to RPGs, I'm usually looking for something I haven't seen before, or like that's what interests me the most.
Yeah,
so if I've seen it before, like, or something very much like it before, I'm not as interested in finishing it because I already know how it's going to be pretty much. So I like something unusual. So and it's kind of hard. It is hard to make something unusual and like different for a genre that people have played many times before. But I've seen this story before.
So you saying you could predict this game, the ending of this?
Something I've seen before for sure. Yeah.
Then tell me the winning lottery numbers then, so I could stop playing RPG Maker games on YouTube and Twitch. So
17,
the lottery
37, 24, 10, 8. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know I don't know the numbers.
Bingo. So
I think it's fairly easy to do something unusual with the story though. Like you can have this generic plot, but you can change it up, and you can change up a lot of things. Like what most people do is put some kind of spin to the combat. That's what most people do with their games, right? They have a generic ass plot like everybody in their mama do, but they have some kind of mechanic to their combat system, which is what you do mostly in RPGs anyway, like mostly combat, right? So that's what most people do, but I feel like writing a plot twist or writing some unforeseen events into a story is not really that hard. It's just writing dialogue.
Yeah.
So what if we gathered this first crystal, and instead of a fucking angel popping up, you're just immediately fighting like the big bad evil? Like I bet you didn't see that coming, right?
I had a feeling
something like that. It's fairly easy.
I had
to like put some spin on it.
I had a feeling that was going to happen because he did say, make sure you use all your tabs. He did hint.
I mean, you saw a boss fight coming. Of course, there was a boss fight gonna happen.
Yeah.
But instead of a generic enemy like a fucking chimera, for some reason, it could have been like the evil guy.
I want to call it. I want to call a chimera generic, a huge one.
A chimera is pretty fucking generic.
Basing off all the enemies we fought so far.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to be there. Why is a chimera, which is mostly lion, in a tree?
Yeah, it is a little odd of a choice.
So I guess there we got our plot twist. Chimeras in this game live in trees. Maybe that's an interesting plot.
Oh man, yeah. Maybe it just magically appeared from somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but what if instead you fought the end boss of the game right then and there?
Most
and
games.
What if you could actually win it?
Some games you do. You fight the end boss during the beginning.
Yeah, but it's unusual, right? It's not your standard fare all the time. Like fighting some enemy, some boss fight is standard fare, but fighting like the big bad guy is. We've seen it before, but it's not as standard, right? Or any other event happening, right? Like the crystal shattered. Maybe if we didn't consume it, maybe there was something. Maybe we are not worthy to be the chosen one, and now we gotta collect the fucking crystal shards instead to prove ourselves worthy or whatnot. Like anything that's not as generic. any plot twist, any spin to this, any your own spin on a generic plot like this is what you need in a game like that. You can't just go with the standard formula. Like you're not FIFA. You can't just rehash and redo the same thing every year. It doesn't work like that. Like, why would I play this game over any other game? Any other RPG Maker game even? Like even Red Genie had a more interesting premise than this.
What?
Yeah, of course. The premise, I mean the game was shit, but the premise of Red Genie was more interesting than Elemental Crystals.
Because Red Genie was written by an actual author.
I mean,
then
I can
then
write
somebody that's not an author. So there's a bit difference than, you know. And Red Genie is based off the author's books, kind of like a spin-off.
But it doesn't matter where it came from. I, as the player, don't care who made it. But like seeing this and seeing like any other generic Crystal RPG, why would I pick this up over any of the others?
Because it looks.
I mean, there's a million other games with the exact same time set. And a million other games with the exact same plot too. Why would I play this? Where's this game's unique selling point?
You're not curious about the other elemental crystals you could get and the abilities that you may learn?
Why? I'm learning exactly the abilities I need to win the game. And they're gonna be more damage abilities, and then I'm gonna recharge my MP with guard again, and then I'm gonna spam my strongest skill until I have no MP.
Wow. What you think, Sacronic? Is he right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
That's how the battle system worked here.
Yeah.
Once again, D7 is by himself. Once again.
I just think that the developer needs to take the feedback and just make some adjustments, and it'll be a much better game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for. Like,
I agree.
For me, personally, I'd either get rid of this pacifist bullshit you have going on, because that doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't need to be there. It serves no purpose. Why are we on this saving the planet pacifist route? Are we collecting plastic straws too or some shit like that? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. If there's a fucking monster attacking me in the forest, I'm not gonna cram out some fucking slime repellent. I'm trying to save my fucking hide. It's a ruthless world out there. There's a fucking chimera out for my life. I'm not trying to save some slimes on the forest, man. I'm trying to get stronger so I can live.
Hey, look, that chimera means business, though. He means business.
I don't know. And if you want to go that route and give the player the option to be a pacifist, then make both options viable. Like, if I want to kill stuff, let me fucking kill stuff and reward me for doing so, because it was a tough battle. And where is my monies? Where's my rewards?
Give me my monies,
right? And not just give me nothing because the game decided you're not gonna fight. If you're gonna fight, you're gonna waste your time. Like, no, don't waste my time, game. I'm just gonna order 4.
Yeah, you're right.
Just get rid of it. Just keep it classic RPG. Give us the levels. Give us some character builds, perhaps. And instead of giving us generic ass fucking potions and gold, maybe make more gear that's not straight up upgrades, but different. Like, one could empower Mana Slash and the other armor could empower the fire spell or whatnot. You know, options like sideways progression. Like different builds I can go with, perhaps. Stuff like that. Like, make it more interesting. Make loot more interesting than just potions and gold, because nobody needs that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm running 15 potions within 2 hours of the game. Like that. Wow, I'm so rewarded.
So you won't wow when you got the bug repellent and you use it and the enemy just woo, we ran away.
It's not fun, man.
I was like, oh my god, that was dope. That was freaking dope. You ain't see that?
Oh man, yeah. Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Man, you don't know how to play games, man. That's why you died against Camaro.
you-
I'm glad that Camaro whooped your butt. I'm glad he did. You deserved it. It was coming.
I don't mind that actually.
Yeah.
You can go on about explorations, man. If you're fine with finding potions for your effort of exploring every nook and cranny of that fucking map, I guess that's on you. I'm not so easily impressed. If I'm out exploring, I'd rather have rare rewards. Like give me a cave with a puzzle.
Yeah,
in
that's
the chest.
yeah.
Don't just give me chests every 2
Yeah,
steps
he had a
where
pretty-
there's a fucking potion.
He had a pretty cool puzzle with the forest. With the different seasons.
That's on a side quest, I guess, or I didn't get that far.
Nah, it was part of the game.
It's the part that after the part where it
Unfinished
tells you to stop playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But you can keep
that's
playing if you
irrelevant
want.
then.
Yeah, I
But
like.
what I mean is like the way exploration works. Like you leave your house, right? You got your bow, your training bow. You leave your house. You go to the left. There's a chest on a hill. You can't miss it. And there's a better bow in there.
Yeah,
2 minutes into the game.
it is missable though.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
You cannot not
it is.
see
It is missable because you're not required to go to that area. You talking about with the
yeah,
chest
but
with the
we're playing
hill
an
and the
RPG.
cave? I'm just saying you're not. A person can miss it if they never went there.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
we're
I'm
playing
saying.
In RPGs, that we're not here to miss content, right? We're here about.
I mean, technically, you
exploration.
can miss it because I don't even know if I found everything, and I was exploring like a mamma jamma.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And
So
what did you find? Potions and 25 gold every time.
Yeah, you
And
right.
what I'm proposing is put less shit on the maps and make it
Be
harder
grateful.
to find.
Be grateful you found that.
Nah, fuck that shit. I can buy a potion for 10 gold off the vendor. I don't need a chest for that shit.
Okay.
Scrounging for treasure.
Yeah, just make exploration more fun, more interesting, and make the loot rarer.
We just turn
Like
this
make me
to.
walk through the forest maze kind of thing. Like hide the chest, not
Yeah.
put it on a fucking pedestal right
Yeah.
on the screen.
Yeah.
And when I find it, give me something valuable, like actually valuable items.
Yeah, like
And
25
not
gold.
a fucking potion.
Yeah.
Right, so I can feel good about myself that I found
Technically,
this
you
chest.
are getting valuable items because those are items you can use.
Yeah, but they're not
You're gonna-
rewarding.
you're gonna
the
need
chests are
potions.
everywhere. Right, it's not an effort to find them. It's just everywhere. Every few steps,
Yeah.
there's a chest or a fucking
Yeah,
barrel.
they're
It's not rewarding.
They're not as hidden as you want them to be.
Yeah, it's not hidden. You're just walking across the map, clicking on shit.
Mhm.
It's not like you go out of your way to explore the map and eventually find a valuable treasure. You're just finding change and potions.
Yeah.
You're just finding pocket money and fucking consumable items you can buy off an NPC. Why am I not finding a cool wind bow or something like that?
Cause
In a cave that was hidden with traps. And
pretty sure you're eventually gonna get something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, and it's gonna be either at the NPC who sold it or in the dungeon right after you bought it from the NPC.
You right.
And it's
You
not gonna
right.
be hidden anyway. It's just a chest that's in a random room, ripe for the picking. Like
Now
it's not
it-
fun. That's
it-
not how exploration works.
It may be hidden now since the podcast covered this game.
Maybe at some point, I don't know. That's what we're here for.
Look,
Maybe he's gonna change it. Maybe he's not gonna change it. We don't
That's-
know.
there's no telling how far along he is with the development. So if he already got something solid
I
going,
mean, if the demo ends pretty much after the Chimera, it's not very far.
as we know,
Yeah, I mean, that's what the demo says. This
Because-
part is unfinished, so it's not very far into development, I don't think.
because it was updated 40 days ago. and this game was announced 9 months ago. I think
So
I think
either
as a demo, it was announced 9 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, on
maybe he
Reddit.
doesn't have a lot of time to work on the game. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very far into development either way. Like and it's not too hard to make things more hidden. Like it's not hard to put a cave entrance in one of your forest maps and design a little cave with maybe like a little jumping puzzle, or it doesn't even need to be a puzzle specifically. Just vaguely hide the entrance and make the player jump across a couple of platforms. Like it doesn't even need to be a puzzle, but having the player jump across things is better than just walking. It's more interactive in a little bit. And then have one chest there that gives you a meaningful item that's not just 25 gold or potion. And that's rewarding.
But it's a start. I think this project it can definitely be improved. Probably with some even small tweaks, it could get better.
Yeah, I mean, it's generic, but generic isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, many people look for the same kind of experience anyway.
Right.
Like, that's how games work, right? Psychronic is always gonna look for games that feature deep stories. I'm always gonna look for games that feature certain other things and like stuff like that, right? So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it needs more. Like, you need something that makes it your game.
Yeah.
And not everybody else in the mama games.
Yeah, and there's a lot of games out there, so it's easier said than done, but you got to try.
It's easy, but like that's what you signed up for. Game dev is hard. Who would have thought?
Yeah, yep.
Right? It's not easy. And then just picking up Time Fantasy and slapping together some events is not gonna cut it. That's just how it is. But I mean, like, we've also seen worse. Like, the maps look fairly decent. The inside maps have some wall issues I've noticed. Like, they have corner borders in the ceilings, but the wall is a straight line, so that doesn't make any sense. And a couple of tiny mapping issues here and there, but that's an easy fix as well.
Neo Soul Gamer, who specializes with this kind of map, saying there was lots of errors with some of the map tiles, and it's hard to recognize if you're not specialized with this type of tile set, which he is.
Times Fantasy is a little bit special in terms of tiles, but you can, it's harder to see than most other tiles it's here. But yeah, I can see some of them, and if I look closer, I'm pretty sure I can see all of them. I mean, I do mapping a lot, so, but that's small issues in the grander scheme of things, I would say. Like, if you want to keep going with that, I think you need to narrow down what gameplay you actually want, because right now it doesn't work out. This pacifist, not pacifist, like, it doesn't work. It's not fun, and it doesn't make any sense for the gameplay part, right? And for the exploration, you need better exploration. Like, everybody does this. Like, most games have exactly that. They just make a map and then sprinkle random fucking shit everywhere, where it's a potion or a little bit of money or a fucking antidote or a fucking revive. It's always the same, and it's never rewarding. You gotta make better exploration than that. It's not that hard.
I'm not even sure this game is a commercial game or it's just...
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, everybody's goal for a game is to get as many people playing it as possible. Whether it's commercial or not, it doesn't matter. Otherwise, you wouldn't have uploaded it to itch. Like, if you just made it for your family, just give it to your family, right? Then you don't care. But if you upload it online, I'm gonna assume you want people to play it.
There's no fun in that. Getting your family, on just your family to play. There's no
Yeah, I mean, but there are people out there who just make it for family or just for themselves, right? But there's no reason to host it online if it's just for themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So if you host it online, I'm gonna assume you want as many people as possible to play it. And for that to happen, you need a pretty damn good game, otherwise people are not gonna play it.
Agreed.
You need a good representation and you need a good gameplay loop, and this one doesn't have any of it. Like, it looks nice because of the tile set, but there's so many others out there with exactly that tile set too. They look good as well. So where's your unique spin on this? Where's the part that makes this game your game?
Yep.
I don't see it.
That's all Psychronica could say. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, as I said, like, if it's commercial or not doesn't really matter.
I was just,
It doesn't matter.
I was just stating because I'm not sure what their intentions are with the game.
Like, the only, as DJ King said, like, the only reason, the only difference is if it's commercial, I'm gonna be even more rude about it. Because you done not only wasted my time, but you also wanted $15 for it. That's the only difference. If it's free, I'm gonna be more lenient because you only wasted my time and not also my money. But otherwise, not really a difference.
Gotcha. So, do we get 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs downs, or 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down? What do we get?
I don't know. I wouldn't give it a thumbs up because it's too generic for me. Like, similarly to Psychronic, I'm looking for unique stuff. I've always been looking for that. Like, whatever game I pick up, I'm looking for a new experience in some way.
So you didn't get that with this game? No new
This game is generic as can be. You have the most generic approach to exploration. You have the most generic approach to combat. And you have the most generic characters. You got the silent regular girl protagonist that's the chosen one for some reason, which is not new. You got the old hero guy, which lives in a secluded house, which is also not really new.
You got the magic crystals.
You got the fucking elemental crystals, which is so old. It's ancient.
I mean, come on, guys. What more can somebody do?
You got the sick mother trope.
They could do a lot.
Like the ideas,
you got the town of beginnings trope.
The ideas are so small, though. Like, creating a game is just so minuscule. What you can do that's not already been done. So
that's true, but you don't have to pick the most overly done tropes to do it. Like, you could at least pick some that are not that much overly done. You know?
Yep.
You don't have to pick the most obvious.
You can make new tropes.
Instead of getting the elemental crystal, get like the furniture parts or something like that.
What, furniture parts?
Like, one is a chair, the other is a table, the other one's a sheet.
Well, why do you need to collect anything in the first place?
I mean, you gotta have a task.
I mean, the task is find a cure.
Yeah, you need all the element
crystals.
You need all the element crystals to.
No, you don't. The cure could be anything. The sky is the limit. This is RPG Maker. You can do whatever you want. The fucking cure could be a hack spoon out of a fucking cooking pot. For all we care about.
So they could.
It's still better than crystals.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. I gotcha.
Like, we can go on a journey.
What's that one game?
Find the cure and then stumble across, I don't know, a powerful necromancer tome and accidentally summon It
could be the flower that's on the snowy mountain.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be fucking.
And you gotta go through all types of monsters just to get there.
Yeah. The cure should be something distant, right?
Then when you
get going on a long journey to find this obscure cure for this crimson whatever, right? And on that journey, we encounter different things and different people, and the plot changes, and this cure gets further away from us at first, and it seems unobtainable until there's some plot point which gets it within our grasp, only to be taken away. Maybe a character gets killed, and then we got a redemption arc and whatnot. But that's not what happens here. Here is just get the crystals again.
Yep. Gotta love it.
Need the crystals, though. You need the crystals.
Without
the crystals,
the plot could be so much more than just fucking crystals.
Without the crystals, you are nothing. That's the model of the game.
The crystals could be ingredients of a drug, and when you mix them together, that's the drug.
Exactly. He's not using his. He's not using.
You gotta use the ancient cheese grater and grind up the crystals.
You're not
and sniff them up.
Exactly. You're not using your imagination, sir. So I'm just saying. So I would just make it a standard RPG. Give us that battles. Give us more items to explore, not just 25 gold. Even just make it less. Just make it less stuff to explore, because it feels like all that stuff is just copy and pasted anyway. Like the stump, it says I'm stumped. After every tree trunk you talk to, it says the same message. So I do agree. But I mean, to each his own. I mean, this game gonna be for some people. This game ain't gonna be for some people. But other than that,
be for some people with very low standards.
Other than that, we want to congratulate the developer for even uploading a project so people can play and give them feedback, because not a lot of people.
A lot of people don't even get that far.
Exactly. And that's the most important thing. Just keep encouraging them to keep developing and become better. And like always, we do give recommendation. You don't have to go with what we say. You don't have to agree with everything that we say. You can, at the end of the day, you are the developer. You know what you have in store for your game, and you know what's best for your game. So if you still want to go that route, then go that route. Just because one person said they don't like it don't mean everybody gonna say they don't like it.
And you can be like, hey, RTP, you guys are full of shit. My game's awesome.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be the first time either.
Exactly. But in the end, we encourage everybody to use, their better judgment, whether it's from us or from their heart, because it's your project. So, if this game was on sale, guys, how much will you price this game at if it was for sale?
Nada.
Hey.
I would not buy this game.
I wouldn't buy it either. But if it was fixed, I think maybe like $5. But in its current state, $0.
Dang. What did I say? $4.99, I believe. $5.99.
Yep. $4.99.
Never
say $5.99.
Not a bad game. It's not. I mean,
it's generic.
I've seen worse.
Can be like it's not bad per se. Like we've seen bad games, but the current design doesn't work, so it's not a good game either.
It's okay, but it needs some improvement.
It's an okay game, but okay doesn't get you anywhere.
It's an okay game.
There's a whole pile of games, so
I mean, when the thing is, when there's so many games that get released every day, and as I keep saying on every episode, there's I believe like 7,000 or 8,000 RPG Maker games on itch right now for free, and like nobody is gonna see this. Like there's out of these 6,000-7,000 games, there's like I don't know, at least 3,000 games that are okay games. But nobody wants to play an okay game. We want to have a good time. We want to see something good. We want to be entertained. If I was looking for okay, I could just turn on the TV and turn off my brain. That's what okay is.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm always looking for those diamonds in the rough.
Exactly. That's what we need. You can make an okay game, and making an okay game is still hard, and still takes a lot of time, but it doesn't get you anywhere these days. It's just the market is just so full with games that okay is not good enough.
Yeah, it's saturated.
Like maybe 30, 20 years ago, okay would have been great because the industry was newer and not everything was already explored. But these days, being okay is pretty much the same as being shit. Because nobody's gonna see it. Like, the presentation of the game is Times Fantasy, which is not really uncommon even. So they're just gonna look at the game. All right, what's the thing in this game? What's the unique stuff in this game? What can I experience here? And what can you experience in this game? You got the generic plot, you got a generic beginning, you got a generic everything, and you have this weird don't fight stuff mechanic that's not really anything either. Like, it doesn't matter. Whether or not you fight the wasp doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change anything. It just means you fought a battle and wasted your time. So that's not a good thing. What else is the selling point of this game? What's the thing you put as the first line in your store page that gets the player interested? What is this in this game? I can't find it.
Play as Sam, a young woman.
Yeah, but that's just a description. That's like everybody's game.
Yeah.
What's the unique selling point here? What kind of experience that's different from any other game are you offering the player for downloading this game?
Gathering the 4 elemental crystals and sealing the gate to the void.
Okay, so why would I do this in this game and not in the 500 other games that have elemental crystals?
Yeah, you haven't even, but you haven't even played the game yet. Like,
I've played Final Fantasy, it's the same. Find the elemental crystals.
Man.
Like, where's your unique spin? Like, you gotta have something to interest the player in the game. Like, elemental crystals don't mean jack.
We like to give a prime example.
What's a good example of this?
Well, yeah, I have an example. So, for example, the game Suikoden 2, right? You have runes in that game, right? They're not crystals, but runes. And the fact that you took the rune and your friend took the rune at the same time, a different rune, means that you were destined to have to, like, kill each other.
Duke it out.
Yeah. And then your friendship goes in a weird direction after that, and the stakes get raised.
That's a unique story point. Yeah.
And it's using something that, yeah, a lot of games have runes, right, or powers that you would get, but there's something that's a little bit different there, you know.
It could be anything. Like, this is a good story example, but it could be gameplay mechanics too, like I do with timed inputs, right? I sell my game on the premise of having these timed inputs. Before I even start telling anything of the story, is like, all right, you like Legend of Dragoon, I have a similar system here, but you can also time block now, and stuff like that. Like, that's my unique selling point. But what does this game have aside from a pacifist mechanic that's not really a mechanic?
What did it change from crystals to orbs? You think that'll help?
Doesn't mean anything, no. Okay. It's the same thing.
Okay.
What would change it is, what if you started out with all the crystals already obtained? I don't know, and then maybe you kind of lose them for some reason, or you get beat up by the big bad evil guy and now they're spread again, like anything. It doesn't need to be crystals, it could be anything. You just gotta spin your unique turn on it. And the crystals are, it's not about them being crystals. This whole notion of gathering the 7 somethings is overdone.
Yeah.
Like, everybody and their mama did it. Like, Zelda did it, and every other game did it. Like, go to the 7 temples, gather the 7 medallions. It doesn't matter what item it is.
Yeah, it's the same thing either way.
Yeah, it's the same premise. It's the item, the shape of the thing doesn't matter. It's the premise of gather the X amount of something that's boring.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like I try to change it up a little bit in my game too. So, like for example, like I'll have different artifacts, but they do completely different things. They're not like 7 of the same thing. Like one allows you to like see backwards and forwards in time, and then the other one allows you to actually go backwards and forwards, but you can't see it ahead of time. And then there's different like things that have nothing to do with either of those. But
they could have unique mechanics to them too. Like you can keep the crystals, but the crystals in this game don't do anything. I mean, you get a fucking skill, but yeah, great, I guess. But
they get integrated into you.
You get new skills in every game. That's not a unique mechanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
A more unique approach, though also already used. What if the wind crystal allowed you to traverse cliffs via like a wind gust and stuff like that, like giving actual like gameplay mechanics to this crystal, which would unlock areas you couldn't go before and stuff like that, right? Like actual gameplay mechanics instead of just, okay, this is the crystal, now you got a new skill, hooray.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I mean, it's understandable. I do agree with you guys. Not debating that.
As I said, it's not a bad game, but it's not a good game either.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, it depends on what the developer wants to do. If he doesn't give a shit and he just wants to make a game to have made a game, essentially, he can do that, and he can just say fuck the RTP and all the bullshit mamma jammas. I don't need that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He can do that too. That's fine. Like our advice is usually tailored towards making the game unique enough to like gather some form of audience or community, fans and whatnot, right? To
the game of your dreams.
Exactly, to get your name out there, maybe even go commercial or not. Like it all depends on what each developer wants to do with the game. But our advice is usually tailored around being the most successful version of the game.
Yep, that we try to do, you know. We try to
like sure, right now you can get some players enjoying this, even though it's generic, because some people just don't care.
There's definitely gonna be some players for any game.
Exactly, like this is a light-hearted game, like from the graphics and whatnot, it gives off this light-hearted vibe and SNES vibe, so people are just gonna play it for that reason alone already. But if you want to go bigger than that, that's what our advice is for.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you done heard all the rants and the praise and the discourage and the disappointment that some of us had.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Exactly. With this game. Like always, if you want to try the game for yourself, we have the download link in the description. So, unfortunately, everything that's good must come to an end. Developer, I mean...
Who's up next on the turn?
Please, Cychronic. Lord,
Cychronic. Oh no,
another space game.
We're gonna play a space game again.
Or a visual novel. Oh man. If it's a visual novel, I'm going to keep canceling.
Visual novels are not even games. Like, let's be honest.
I'm going to keep canceling the podcast. Like, hey, something happened this week. Something happened that week. AI took over my computer. Blah 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 blah. But
I mean, visual novels are not games. They do not qualify for the podcast.
But it's made with RPG Maker, so technically
it doesn't matter though. It's not a game. It's a visual novel. It's in the name. It's not a game. It's a novel.
A visual novel.
Yeah,
But
if
no, you
there's
guys
no
don't.
gameplay to judge,
It's
You guys don't have
made
to.
with RPG Maker, so it qualifies.
You guys
not a
don't have to
game.
worry.
I don't
about
want
me.
to play it, but in all fairness, it's made with RPG Maker, which qualifies it.
I don't know, man.
I still think that they're. I think that they can be games. I mean, sometimes they have gameplay in them, but it's really like basic.
yeah, but it's not
but
really
again,
the.
But again,
the
you got
thing.
nothing to worry about because
Kokoro.
I'm not going to be picking a visual novel. So
I don't think any of us ever is.
Kokoro's a visual novel
Yeah, none.
with combat.
I'm on the fence on there. Like Kokoro has mostly combat.
The developer said it's a visual novel.
Yeah, because
So
the presentation.
who's
looks
right?
like
Who's
one.
right? The developer or somebody that's sitting behind the
Or
computer
somebody
screen?
who actually knows what they're talking about.
I think that they are games, but they're just light on the gameplay. you know?
It depends. Like I've played some visual novels that were really just
There's
there is no gameplay in there.
there's no character movement, nothing like that. It's straight.
Yeah, but
Battles.
but Kokoro features the most prominent RPG feature, which is combat and character customization, which is every RPG.
Yeah, but you have a choice to customize your character. Once you use it, you're pretty much stuck with it.
No, I mean you customize your character via the skills and the gear and whatnot. It's RPG. It's RPG elements.
Yeah,
And
but
the most thing
but-
you do in Kokoro is combat, not
but-
reading.
it's a visual novel though.
It's
The
a
devel-
mix.
The
yeah, it's a
developer
hybrid.
said it's a visual novel, so that's what it is.
It has too much gameplay for me to call it a straight up visual
That's
novel.
you.
I would call it a hybrid, if anything. Like there's like what's that horror visual novel, like with the schoolgirls, the horror game, the literal club thing, the Doki Doki literal club. That's not a game. That's a visual novel. Like straight up, there's no gameplay elements in it. That's a novel. But if it has more gameplay than novel part, I would say it's a game.
Okay.
Either way, nobody of us is ever gonna pick a visual novel because none of us like it.
I don't know. I might pick one on my turn.
Nah, you lying. You complaining about that visual novel is not your thing every
I don't
time
know,
you play
man.
one.
If I want to get back,
Every
if I
time.
want to get back at somebody, I'll pick one just to do.
I'm fine with visual novels if the story's good, but if the story sucks, then I don't like them.
Oh.
I mean,
Red Genie's on sale for right now. Y'all guys want to?
I never understood the appeal of visual novels, to be honest. Like if it has choices and different outcomes, yeah, I can get behind that. But many
well,
don't.
Right, I see what you're saying, but I've seen ones that do, and so it can be done well. It can be
Yeah,
done. good.
if they do have choices and so on, yeah, I'm digging that. I'm always digging choices and different outcomes and whatnot, but most of them don't. Most of them are just straight up novels.
Right,
You could
it-
read
it-
a
it-
comic and have the same effect,
Yeah.
yeah.
but they be costing $20. So I'm here like,
Right.
why?
So.
Yeah, I guess. But
So-
yeah, we're done with this game at least.
So, guys, tune in to next week where our one and only Synchronic Games will be choosing the next game and for us to play. Definitely keep on the lookout for that. And like always, guys, if you want to try the game for yourself, this game particularly, there's a download link in the description. So definitely give it a go. Let us know what your thoughts are about the game. Is it worthy to be played, or it's just it is what it is, but before we head out,
RPG Maker, guys, you can do whatever
any
you
of
want.
my co-hosts has anything they want to say before we head out and go eat?
I don't think so.
We're almost at one of our first milestones here. We're almost at 100 subscribers.
Yeah, we need three
Oh
more
my
people.
goodness.
3 more people to
3 more homies.
and maybe we'll give you a copy of Red Genie. Maybe. So tell your friends and your mama and your brothers and sisters about us. And also, if you prefer to watch us on Twitch, we do live stream on Twitch as well. You know, if you want to watch the podcast on YouTube, you can do that. You want to watch us on Twitch, you can do that. You know, the choice is yours. So we do know people got iPhones and they don't
we
have
got more choices than this game is.
Oh Lord. With that, guys, we're gonna head on out of here, guys. We're gonna head on out of here because this dude don't know how to freaking act. Do you think he know how to act, Cychronic? Be honest though. There's no wrong.
One
it's not gonna
thing
be
I
a
did
visual
like
novel.
about this game was the crow. Like, it was obvious that they're gonna ruin the field, but that was cool. I like the crow.
Yeah, the crow had a good attitude.
There's hope for this guy already. There's freaking hope. He liked the crow. Wow. I'm shocked.
Yeah, that was just a tiny little thing that was
he liked something. I'm shocked. Man, oh man. Wow. Can I get a
Devin
moment?
said I can't always be negative, so I'm saying this.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it's not from me. It's everybody and their mama saying that guy's simple gaming. He liked the nitpick. He liked the nitpick over everything. So I was like,
that's what we're here for.
I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, guys just like to nitpick over everything. So I don't know, man. I don't freaking know. So you can't be too mad with the guy. You know, you gotta understand he's a different breed from everybody. You know, so you just gotta roll with the punches. But overall, you know, the guy, you gotta know what he's talking about sometimes. Right, guys, we are definitely out of here. I ain't gonna waste y'all guys' time. Peace out. See you next week.